Going over to the Cultural Prod podcast, you have Matt Walsh going viral for his take on Scott Adams' cancer announcement. Now, Scott Adams is one of the best cartoonists, I would say, in the past 100 years. However, a couple years ago, he went viral, not in a good way, for this statement on what he claims to be statistical analysis on African American communities, not appreciating white communities. And this is the video that sunk his career in terms of obviously socially ostracized. I mean, well, without too much further ado, I'll go ahead and play this right now. And again, this is the video that came out years ago, or he put out years ago, that caused him to lose a lot of the book deals.
So if nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. Right? This can't be fixed.
And he goes on for several minutes, but yeah, him bringing up this study and his statement with advice got him to be socially ostracized like that. And immediately lost all his contracts, all his book deals, or yeah, comic books are still books, just with more pictures. But yeah, lost all his deals, roasted online. Of course, some people did give him accolades, but yeah, needless to say, in terms of going viral, he went viral not in a good way. Now, Matt Walsh is actually responding to Scott Adams with his cancer announcement, and Matt Walsh, again, he went viral as can be, got 1.5 million views and 46,000 likes. Now, Matt Walsh says, quote, "We live in a culture where people cry and whine over the slightest struggle or inconvenience. Everything is quote unquote trauma. Everything is a crisis. Meanwhile, Scott Adams announced his impending death with calm, courage, and clarity. A lot of people are more dramatic about mean comments on the internet than he is about his terminal cancer. He is providing tremendous effort, an example for all of us. The final service he is doing for our country. I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful for him," unquote. Again, as viral as can be, got 1.5 million views. Now, Scott Adams, again, recently said he thought he had a 0% chance of surviving the cancer diagnosis. However, due to the treatments, he now says he estimates has about a 30% chance of not prematurely passing away. And a lot of people are really upset that he's, going to live longer. A lot of people are cheering him on. Now, go to the comments. One of the first comments comes to us thanks to America AF, saying, quote, "Meanwhile, liberals are crying about their Starbucks dress code, getting 1.6 thousand likes." And yeah, it is amazing how emotionally and intellectually weak many Americans have become. It's the age-old saying of, hard times create strong men, and strong men create easy times, and easy times create weak men. I mean, yeah, I think that's a pretty case in point. I'll never forget last year, I was about to say a man. Well, he certainly was not acting like a man, though in the legal definition, he was a man. I believe he was 20 years old. He was a male barista, and he cried because he had to work an 8-hour shift and because he said the orders were complex. When again, the whole reason Starbucks exists as a business is because they have complex candy in a cup. I mean, otherwise you just get drip coffee at the McDonald's, the Dunkin' Donuts, or a competitor for a fraction of the cost. Or like me, you make it at home for like 2 cents a pot. Okay, it's not that cheap, but you get my point. He's crying just because he had too many orders. Scott Adams simply says, "Thanks, Matt," getting 4,000 likes. Again, going to Scott Adams' profile, actually bring his cancer announcement here. It's about 55 minutes long, but we'll do the first minute here.
"Come on in. Don't check your stocks. You won't like it." What?
Oh, he's actually extrapolating.
You got a signed end of locals? That doesn't seem right. Continued.
Fortunately, he's not extrapolating quick enough. But going back to the main comment section, you also have George Cardiano saying, quote, "This precisely. I also have similar circumstances, different cancer, maybe a little bit more left than Scott, still stage 4. The only thing I have control over now is my attitude. Jesus is helping me maintain a mostly positive outlook and a good witness to my non-believing," getting 926 likes. Bird simply says, "Norm MacDonald was also like this. He published posthumous self-recorded cancer set and kept his illness out of the public until his passing," getting 1.1 thousand likes. Which, yeah, Norm MacDonald, I mean, everyone loved his sketches are epic and legendary, and obviously he's one of the best comedians of all time. But yes, Norm, I think, told like 3 people about his cancer. And I think his treatment was 9 years. And he never complained once, never cried. He just did his job to make sure he can make everyone as happy as possible. You also have unapologetic boomer nostalgia saying, quote, of all the people I learned about in my lifetime, Scott Adams is top 10. An amazing combination of smarts, wisdom, humor, and courage. The man stabbed a big knife into the wokeness elephant while it was still a raging beast. It cost him his newspaper career, getting 1.1 thousand likes, which, yeah, when I was a kid, the first time I ever heard about Scott Adams was the Dilbert comics. And, back in the day, comics, at least quote unquote free to the consumer, were in newspapers because, most of the people either got the newspapers for free because they had a mass amount of advertisements, or your family paid like, what was it, $10 a year or something comically low to get the newspaper delivered to them. Now, you also have Distant West saying, quote, if I was a president for a day, I'd sign an executive order banning the word trauma, getting 265 likes. Not a bad idea. Sajrilla Eternia says, quote, Matt, you're obviously right. Scott Adams' stoic bravery shines our culture's obsession with victimhood. Sorry, his bravery shames culture of victimhood. Can't speak today. His calm in a facing a death masterclass is resilience, a stark contrast to the left's whining over microaggressions. Trump leadership embodies the same grit. Getting 147 likes. Stan Waters says, quote, we live in a culture where people cry and whine over the slightest struggle or inconvenience. Now, he says, quote, your entire income revolves around doing this, unquote, getting 308 likes. Referring to Matt Walsh, who, again, is a very famous conservative podcaster, YouTuber as well. And a lot of Matt Walsh is just calling people out on their shit, which is true. That'd be a not instant. That would if the people stopped complaining and being weak, that would not be an insignificant amount of Matt Walsh's podcast that would vanish. He'd find something, obviously a different topic. He also covers political, cultural, not just, people complaining. You also have Patrick Columbia saying, quote, agreed, Scott Adams made me laugh with Dilbert for many years. And now recently his color commentary on politics has been a gold mine of wisdom. The man is frankly a treasure, and the world will have a giant hole when he is gone. Getting 154 likes. So it'll be interesting to see how much longer he has with us. In terms of, again, he said he's had a different cancer treatment. So, his odds did go from what the doctors were saying was 0 to 30%. Though very, unfortunately, obviously that means 70% chance of prematurely passing away. And let me know, I know there's some folks who never even knew that there's a controversy around Scott Adams. I think those folks are probably more in the minority, but did you grow up with the Dilbert comics? I mean, shoot, if you ever in more corporate America for more than a week, you could probably relate to most of the comics that he published. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say today. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to over 5,000, maybe 5,500 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone, everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.